Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Bethany, and today's recipe, I'm gonna show you how to make my family's favorite chicken wing recipe. And I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks on how to make the best wings ever. So let's get right into it. All right, so we have a bowl of chicken wings here. I have about 4 pounds here. And what I did before I put them in the bowl is I dried them each with a paper towel just to get the juices off that are in the package with them. We really want these to crisp up in the oven, and if you don't dry those off, then we're gonna have some soggy chicken wings. And they'll probably steam in the oven. No one wants a steamed chicken wing. What we're gonna do is use a surprising ingredient. We're gonna use baking powder. And we're gonna use 2 tablespoons of this. And what the baking powder does is it helps dry up the skin so that it crisps more. So it's a great thing to use instead of flour or anything like that. And then we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of paprika. And I always have to check if this is cayenne. Shout out to the Watcher in the Ring, one of our viewers. He said that he made the same mistake that I was afraid of in my egg bake video, where I thought I was using cayenne for a second. And he said he made that mistake. And that is always one of my biggest fears when using that. So then 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And that's it. That's all the flavoring that we're using while these bake in the oven. So, and the reason for that is because in the oven, we don't really want the sauce on it because that's not gonna help the wings kind of crisp up. And I didn't put any salt in this because the sauce is flavored perfectly. So we don't need any of that. We're just doing a little paprika, garlic powder, and then the baking powder to help them crisp. And I'm just gonna use my hands to mix all this up. You can put gloves on if you want. We just want everything evenly coated. All right, so I have some pans here. I think I'm gonna use a big pan and a small pan just with these wings because I want them to crisp up in the oven, and you don't wanna overcrowd chicken wings in the oven. Otherwise, they don't evenly crisp up on the edges and they'll kinda end up steaming again. So I'm gonna spread these out on these pans. All right, now I'm gonna wash my hands and we'll get these in the oven. So now we're gonna bake these in the oven at 425 for 1 hour, and we're going to flip these every 20 minutes just so we get an even crisp on all the edges. So the most important part of any chicken wing recipe is the sauce that you coat them in. So while the wings are roasting in the oven, what we're gonna do is make the sauce. And this sauce I made on a whim, and it turned out to be my favorite chicken wing recipe sauce that I've ever had. So what we're gonna do is first do a little bit of sweetness. So we'll do 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. This is really gonna balance the spice that we're gonna add with some hot sauce. You can also use honey too. And then 2 tablespoons of your favorite hot sauce. We like to use Cholula. That's kind of our favorite. It has like a perfectly balanced spice level. So 2 tablespoons of hot sauce. And these wings are not spicy. It has like a little bit of heat, but I don't like spicy food. And I've served these to so many people. I've never once heard anyone say that they were spicy. So it's perfectly balanced. And you can change the heat up. If you like it to be more spicy, you can add another tablespoon or 2. Or if you find that it's too spicy and you want to change that level, add some more maple syrup. So that's kind of how you can change up the levels of that. Then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. And this just adds a really nice tangy flavor to the whole thing. We're adults here, stop. Drew's laughing. I knew this would happen. I'm like, should have got a brand new one. All right. And then, because we don't have any salt in this dish, we're gonna use a little bit of tamari or soy sauce. I just like to use this instead of soy sauce. And it's actually gluten-free. So if you're gluten-free, you can use tamari. It's a great substitute. But this is gonna add the salty flavor that we need because we haven't had any salt in the dish up to this point. And only 1 tablespoon is needed. It's very potent. Then another teaspoon of garlic powder. You can never have too much garlic. Okay, now we'll mix this up. All right, I'm actually gonna use my whisk. In my last video, in the wedge salad, I mentioned that I don't have a whisk. I do have a whisk, but I don't like using it. And I think it's because I avoid it because the wooden handle, I can't throw it in the dishwasher. And a whisk just isn't fun to hand clean. But I'm gonna use it because I wanna get some of those clumps cleared out in the sauce and get it nice and smooth. But I do have a whisk for those concerned. So we're gonna set this aside, and then at the end, we'll toss the wings with this sauce. All right, so the wings are out of the oven. They're nice and crispy, and you could toss them on the pan if you don't wanna dirty up a bowl. I typically do that. But we're gonna put them in a bowl so we can toss it with the sauce. All right, and now we're gonna pour the sauce over top.
A lot of people like cold chicken. I'm not particularly one. But,
I tried to keep them in the oven. Okay, so Dad's here to taste, but I tried to keep them in the oven. We have so many shoots to do, so everything gets kind of cold.
Well, I understand that.
But Dad's here to taste. I did make some blue cheese, sour cream, chive dip. It's not on the recipe, but I think I will probably put it in the recipe card notes because it's good with the chicken, so.
Well, which one would you like me to select?
You can pick whatever one you want.
I like, this one's got my name on it.
Okay.
It's looking at me.
And you can dip it in that if you want. He has had these wings before, but not with the dip though.
No.
The dip looks good. You like them?
Very good. I could eat a lot of them.
You could? Mm-hmm. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
So what would you like me to comment on? How good they taste? Very good. I mean, they're not cold. They're warm enough that I like them.
Yep.
I like it with the dip.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a zing to it, and it just makes it taste great. Mm-hmm. So, therefore, what I think I'm going to do is dip a few in there and head off to my little seat and eat them.
Okay, sounds good.
Is that okay?
Yes, you can take them.
All right. Thank you, my dear.
Well, thank you, Dad, for coming and tasting.
Hey.
You were highly requested to come back.
You call, I come. I don't miss a good meal.
Good.
Thank you. And I'm going to enjoy these.
All right. See you, Dad. See you later. One of the things is that my parents actually live right down the road, so they can come by anytime. All right, I'm also gonna try this. Like I said, I had all the ingredients for the blue cheese dressing. I don't typically serve it with that. It's so good, especially with the dressing. I feel like that's like my new favorite pairing with these wings. It's so good. And it's not spicy at all. Dad, would you call these wings spicy? No. No. It's like the perfect, I don't know, little kick of like...
Yeah, they got a little zing to it, but not...
Yeah, little kick of hot pepper, but it's like nothing. It's perfect. And the sour cream really like cools it down. So good. So I would gladly finish this. Well, these are delicious. We're all going to happily finish these off after we're done filming. But I hope you guys enjoy this recipe and you get to try it. As always, if you do try it, feel free to let me know in the comments on YouTube, or you can review it on the website. And as always, we'll catch you on the next recipe.